Hello there everybody and welcome back to episode 5 of Series of Dwarf, the new mountain home of the Towers of Age. This is the 5th season of the Savage Lands saga. All the links to all the previous series are down below, and in this series we will build a magma-spitting fortress that will sit on top of the mountain range and be the new mountain home that wreaks havoc upon the elves. Well, the last part is something that hasn't happened yet, but our dear esteemed expedition leader is hell-bent on that idea. If you want to find out more and why, well, the previous episodes can explain that to you. We are here today in front of a couple of new tasks that I am very eager to fulfill. But first, the things I did between the episodes. Like I have promised, I have whipped up some work orders for the clothier's workshops. I have only cooked up a production cycle for cloth. We will do the same for yarn later, but I didn't want to go for more of that. I have brought up also a production of cloth bags and ropes, and the work orders themselves look all like this. Whenever we have less than 3 of one piece of clothing and there's more than 10 pieces of cloth, go for it. So we have also 2 more workshops, and one of the very first things that I want to do for today is I want to establish a small storage. But actually what the real highlight of today will be is I want to fix up a underground pasture. The thing that I noticed is that this fortress is not really good at hosting a natural underground pasture environment. Many of my fortresses had a lot of fertile soil around, and there you have a quick growing dense patch of floor fungus and the like, but here this place is all solid rock. While this is really cool, as we had a steady supply of building materials right from the beginning, it is also quite difficult to keep our animals well fed. So I came up with a nice little idea how we can fix that. But first, let me quickly establish a tavern, because what should we do if we cannot dance and have some fun? So we're going to set up a bit of, oh, that won't work, bit of a tiny shape thingy. Let's maybe make it also like that. Yeah, just to have some general shape in that room. Personally like that. So this will be the tavern. We're going to make that happen real quickly, as taverns are really easily and fast installed. We're going to set up a small stockpile of drinks linked to the big stockpile of drinks. We will set up a small stockpile of finished goods, namely mugs, so people don't have to walk long ways to get themselves something to drink with. They're also, you have to configure goblets here to install the mugs, and I think we are lacking a stockpile for finished goods yet. So that is something that I really quickly need to fix up. That's something I have forgotten last episode. So let's put that up real quick here. It's not ideal, but it's a start. We can optimize from here on. It's no problem. So we link these now. There we go. So the fabricated mugs will go in this stockpile, and then this stockpile will pick them up from that stockpile. It's all stockpile, right? So let's install some doors here and do the tavern thing. Tavern meeting hall, right? If I remember correctly, it was a meeting hall thing. Yes. All right, so we're going to have a tavern keeper. So who will be the tavern keeper? Who is this guy? He's somebody from a previous fortress. He has a pre-configured stay away from work thing, so a pretty interesting coincidence. So we're going to bring up a furnace operator here as tavern keeper. There we go. And for now, this tavern is citizens only. We feel ourselves foreign on this new continent, and while somebody of the magical nation has already applied for a guest right here in the last episode, I don't feel well about this. And if I don't feel well about this, neither does our dear esteemed expedition leader. So we're going to wait until we have at least some people able to swing a few weapons and also the training to do so. So what is... Something is wrong about this column, isn't it? Yeah. I messed up the checkerboard there. No. Well, alright. We're just going to leave it like that and pretend nothing ever happened. That's the best way to resolve this. Now, I need to check on out with the underground pasture plants now. This is going to be as easy as it could be. I have already figured out that we're going to have a expanded agricultural area here. So we're going to go for the big one here. I will be installing columns for this hall manually by constructing them. So we're going to start out with a big agricultural hall here. And the trick and the idea, the big idea, is that we are going to go and install an underground pasture just like there. Okay. Let's see. One last thing. I really don't know how well this will work, but I think it should work just nicely. It's also a huge project in procuring nice amounts of rock for us to work with. And there's so much coal in here. It's really tragic that we haven't found a single piece of metal so far. But the good news is the goblins will come. And if everything else fails, we will set up just nice goblinite smelters. And they will keep us really all happy. Okay, so we need... Where is it at? Armor, yeah, armor. That's where you store your clothing in the armor stockpile, because the game doesn't really discern between armor made out of... Where is it? Am I wrong? Yeah, robes, shirts, exactly. Everything here is armor. Exactly, here he has silk and all the materials, so... Good. I do configure these stockpiles so rarely that I often have to double check. So the basic idea I got here came from the observation of mine when I discovered that all of this muddied soil here develops moss and alike. So we're just going to flood that shack, and then we are going to dry it up again. And then we will have a nice pasture here. Nice underground thingy. Easy as that. Alright. So for a proper controlled flooding, though, we will have to take proper preparational measures here. So there we go. A little bit concerned whether I bring up too much water for this room below, but I don't think so. I think the ratio should be just fine after all this has been excavated. Yeah, it's a big project, I admit, but we have to keep all people busy with something until the next years arrive. I mean, this place is a mess all over the board. The symmetry is not present here. We need to do so many things, but I also do know that we only have 23 dwarves right now, so we can only get so and so much done. What's also important though is I should bring up more apartments. After all, more dwarves will arrive, and therefore we need more living room. There we go. So I'll leave this space up for guild hall or anything else, basically. We also should consider, oh yeah, I like the opportunity that I see here, that it's time for a nice little stair hall. So let's do this one like that. Oh, and yet another artifact is in the making. So, go. Our broker is taken by a fey mood. Alright. Let's hope he will last through it. I need to observe him more closely. So he's just standing there. That's not good. Since his proficiencies tell me that he's an armorsmith, I know what is missing. We need a forge for this man. Bring this dwarf a forge, or else he will die. Now, I haven't set up the metalsmith's workshop yet, so that is the whole issue there. It's one of the very last workshops that I haven't set up yet, but I mean, it is pretty clear why. We don't have any metal to process yet. So I'm a little bit in distress when it comes down to this young man, because it might be very much his last attempt to do anything if we mess it up here. So I got the smelter and we need the wood furnace. Time is right now really urgent. So he has claimed the metalsmith's forge, and just as I have feared, he is screaming for all manner of different things. Few of them I got, few of them I don't. So one of the worst things is that I don't have any metal objects that, or I don't have any metal bars for this guy. So this is a multi-stage quest. Step 1, we need to make charcoal, because we need to make ourselves some metal bars. Step 2, we need to refine some of that. Step 3, we need to find some metal for this guy before he dies. But that should be doable. Now then, let's go. So I do remember that on some of these layers, hematite, my friends, that is iron. So we need to go to a layer where we can clearly see that there's metal around. Let's see. I thought I had seen some copper veins too. So here in this area, the granite has iron. That's for sure. We do have some time, you know. It's not as if he will die immediately. Alright, so where was that copper? I do... Well, either way. So we now have to go this way. Let's see, all these jobs here will now receive lower priority. Nothing is as important as the completion of an artifact. Alright. Didn't expect this episode to go all saving Eurus Ryan. or he kills himself from dehydration, but it seems that this is exactly what it is all about today. Alright, so I put all these jobs in priority lower, as we now need to go and make sure that our fine friend doesn't die. Okay, so let's see, these jobs should be designated very shortly. Okay. The key to success now is I need to come to this layer here, and we now dig out a staircase there. Low priority. And now we work ourselves towards there. Luckily, we got by now a handful of legendary miners that get through this stone in no time. There's a high likelihood that during the project itself, we're going to have a successful acquisition of metal. At least that's what I hope. And in the meantime, I want to refine me some bituminous coal, and I'll remind myself the next time I go for a new expedition, I use prepare carefully to bring some metal. In case that a smith wants to do some metal working before I get metal. I usually find my metals earlier, but, well, you never stop learning with this game. Okay, so next step, we need to carve our way through here, and we're going to do this until we find something to work with. It might be that we're still going to be too late. There's a good likelihood that this won't be a successful mission, but we've got to try. So, let's see. Artifact makers do have quite some time before they go insane. But that time frame isn't endless. Okay, so let's check with our mission here. I mean, the good part about it is we do get ourselves a pretty good overview about what's around and what's not. The bad part about it is a complete gamble, and I don't like it. So let's see, is there a vein visible that I could work myself towards to? I don't like this game of chances, you know. Here, there it is. This is where we need to go. So, there we go. Let's delete all the rest. I found what I looked for. Okay. Saving this poor drinker's life, you know. So we can forget about all these. Since we got now the lifeline. Alright. So seems like this fool might be living to see another day with a completed artifact. Because usually these things are veins, and therefore they provide. Okay. You see me very, very relieved here. So, we're still not quite done. This guy can still die. We still need to cut a gem for him. Silk cloth, luckily I got. So he's now going to go either insane because I took too long with preparations, or everything will be fine from here on. We'll see about that. I love these little adventures that the game provides. So, all Alright, the gemstone was sadly lower in the list. Let's follow our friend here. Let's see. Smelt hematite ore. So, our friend Udip Scorching Treaty. He's right now hauling the treasure back up to the smithy. This is the worst part, as this is a terribly long haul. Let's check out this this guy, because he's a legendary mason. Okay, there we start. He is part of the coincidental tombs. Alright, so he is one of the Kogana Ross dwarves. Okay. So getting closer, but he's still quite far away from home. It's interesting that he went for the job, as he has no previous knowledge. He's going through the aquifer now. Let's check out who this man is. So, tall, medium-length beard, neatly combed. Sideburns clean shaven. He's wearing a mustache. Copper skin. He's a very tidy one. He has really wrinkly skin. Cobalt eyes. He looks like somebody who's already started to grow old. But he certainly... Let's see. They should form some bond on this. Seriously. There we go. So, this guy is a complete new face, you know? It would be really, really sad if he'd be dying on us due to something like that. So I'll be putting up another smelting job here right away. Let's follow Fath and see if he gets everything he requires. Whew. That was a quite nasty one, if you ask me. As I really was concerned for a moment I'd be not getting it together in time, but we did. Hurrah! Oof. I'm really, really relieved, and that was a very tense moment for me. Much more tense than I liked it to be. And, well, on the bright side, we got ourselves some hematite now to work with. I will also expand this cavern a little bit. We might find more of this. Okay, so let's get back to the actual things that I had in mind for today. Well, sometimes you just have to take the extra mile for your dwarven friends, no? Let's see what he's forging. I'm really curious to see what kind of artifact we get. Well, not getting my hopes too high here, though. More often than not, it's just some random thing that's important to jurists, but not important to humans. Anyways, it begins here already that we have dug ourselves a little bit into a sandy area. It's pretty nice, actually, as this means I will be able to expand the pasture later with no problems. I got to be aware now, though, that all the trees that I cut in this area might be resulting in blank spots on the pasture, which can be really dangerous. Alright. Alrighty, an iron artifact breastplate. Now, they really try the best they can to make this place shine, don't they? I love this. Alright. The best part is that our fortress is now at a point where it can very well sustain itself. We got pretty much all we need to have a happy life, but there's still quite a couple of things that we need to get done with. So, first of all, I want to make sure that we get more apartments done. This is really not enough. I'm not going to go for the apartment spree today, as I want to take a moment to consider what kind of design I want to take in the upper levels. But overall, it is more than necessary that we expand our living areas, as our population will only ever grow. There we go. I'm pretty sure that even if this room is entirely filled with water, that the cavern below can absorb this water. It has this really nice side effect that we can expand on our farming fields whenever I feel like it. This is a very, very nice synergy effect that I didn't plan, but it just happened. And I can't say that I dislike it. Alright. Overall, it's really feeling good to see how this fortress is thriving. We are going to set up a couple of farmers' workshops here, as we now have the large hallways available that we need. So, go. And I don't know how we will organize the rest, but for starters, this is a good point. And now we need this stone to be gone. That can't be here. So I need a garbage dump zone here. And then we need a lever. And there we go. With that lever, we will be selectively flooding the entirety of this cavern. And then we will drain that thing. So we also need a hatch. Oh, I don't have hatches. What a shame. Well, before I will be mass producing hatches, there will be a bit more time going down the river, so I'll be just producing one for now. Good. So let's link that one. Yeah, the fortress hasn't attracted migrants so far. That's pretty normal. After all, we are not that long here. So, starting to plant out quarry bushes now. Let's make that 2 fields. For the sake of the food production. And now we need process plant to bag jobs, as these will process the plant matter into edible stuff that we can put into our salad. Alright. So, nobody can take care of that? Okay, fine. I was already concerned. It's really important that this stone goes away. We cannot do this if this stone is in the way. Alright, I did order a hatch cover. What's taking you guys so long? Ah yeah, I bet it was in transit. So... now, one of my favorite things again. I love selective flooding, you know. It's one of my favorite things to do in this game. Except for the fact that this ruddy old stone is really getting against my plans. So we're going to show the stone who's boss by just building a wall up here. Okay, you guys, you're really trying to drive me nuts, don't you? Alright, so, yeah, I guess we have to put up the harder bandages, so the only thing left that I can do... That's silly. That's really, really silly. I didn't think we had to go this far, but obviously we have to. So, if we link that lever to the door, we can force that door to be closed. And that is a way to convince that door to have no stone in the way, because It won't work with the stone on the way. I really hope that this now fixes the problem, because this is outright ridiculous. The rogue rock again, you know. Let's see. Okay, so we can now deconstruct it again, because now, just to mock me for my efforts, they're like, hey, we can move that thing away. No problem, boss. Why are you looking at me like this, boss? Jeez, these guys. Alright, and now, obviously, this thing's still held open by a mechanism that is not around anymore. I gotta say, this is the wildest door that I've ever had the honors to work with. But whatever, we're almost there, my friends. Well, something new every day, I'd say. Alright, but after these are finally linked, we can go for the water show, which will be the outro for today's episode. But I actually wanted to have that done 2 minutes before, but I haven't made up my accounts with the rogue rocks. Alright, so that's all sealed up and tidied up. So we're going to forbid that door, and now it's time to have fun. So we go pull that lever and smash open that thing. There we go. With the channeling command, you destroy the topmost layer and the same thing below. Boom, just like that. Now this whole thing receives a watering. And once the water has subsumed all of the cavern floor, we're going to order yet another lever pull, and then we have muddied up all this whole place, which will be then the underground pastures of Series of Dwarf. Alright, we can now pull that again before the whole cavern is filled up with water. And then pull this one. I love lever operations. This is always so much fun. And at that point, we just do a little bit of an irrigation job here as well, while that stuff is all being drained. And in the next episode, we can just easily set ourselves up underground pastures, safe and secure from the excess from above. I still need to find out why the hell there are so many dead fish above, but they seem to just jump out of the brook and die there. By the way, I thank you for being around today. We've had quite an adventure with that artifact, and I'm very happy. I'm a very happy owner of an underground pasture now, so stay tuned, my friends, for more. Leave me your comments down below. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing. Also, check out the description box. There is a link to my Discord server, among other fine things. Support links! Discord server is full of like-minded gamers. We have a Dwarf Fortress channel there, and I'd be very, very happy to see you there as well, and have a nice little chat. So, have a fine day. See you again next time. Bye-bye.